It's a myth to think that staying away from Bhagwan is staying away from him in reality. 6th April 1935. Talk 45. A visitor asked, "The path of realization is difficult. Matters of the world are easy of understanding, whereas this is not." Maharshi says, "Yes, the mind always seeks external knowledge, leaving aside its own inner knowledge." The visitor asks again, "A stay of 1 day with Bhagwan is good. A stay of 2 days is better. Of 3 days, more so, and so on. If it is a continuous stay here, how shall we get on with our mundane work?" To which Maharshi answers, "Stay here or elsewhere. It must be understood that it is the same, and it will have the same effect." 17th August 1938. Talk 503. An American gentleman, Mr. J.M. Lore, has been staying in the ashramam for about 2 months. He asked Bhagwan, "I'm leaving tonight. It gives me pain to tear myself away from this place, but I must go to America. I ask for a message from the Master. The Master understands me even better than I do myself, so I pray for a message to keep me up when I am away from the Master." Bhagwan replied, "The Master is not outside you as you seem to imagine. He is within, is in fact the Self. Recognize this truth, seek within you, and find Him there. Then you will have constant communion with Him. The message is always there. It is never silent. It can never forsake you, nor can you ever move away from the Master. Your mind is outgoing. Because of that tendency, it sees objects as being outside and the Master among them. But the truth is different. The Master is the Self. Turn the mind within and you will find the objects within. You will also realize that it is the Master who is your very self, and there is nothing but Him. Because you identify yourself with the body, you have accepted objects as being outside you. But are you the body? You are not. You are the Self. How then can you move away from the Master who is your own self? Suppose your body moves from place to place. Does it ever move away from yourself? Likewise, you can never be without the Master." Mr. Lore was struck by the answer, although he was already familiar with the Master's ways. He was even visibly moved. He prayed that the grace of the Master might abide with him. To which Bhagwan replied, "The Master being the Self, grace is inseparable from the Self." Mr. Lore saluted Sri Bhagwan with intense fervor, saying that he might be enabled to realize the truth. To which Maharshi said, "Is there any moment when you have not realized the Self? Can you ever be apart from the Self? You are always that." To which Mr. Lore replied, "You are the great Master, shedding joy and bliss on the world. Your love is indeed unlimited, that you choose to abide in the world in human form. But I wish to know if one should necessarily realize one's self before being of help to the country and a leader of men?" To which Bhagwan replied, "Realize the self first, and the rest will follow." Talk 127. The American engineer asked Bhagwan, "Does distance have any effect upon grace?" To which Maharshi replied, "Time and space are within us. You are always in yourself. How do time and space affect it? The visitor asked Bhagwan that in radio, those who are nearer hear sooner. You are Hindu, we are American. Does it make any difference? To which Maharshi said, no, it does not make any difference. Devotee asked Maharshi again, even thoughts are read by others. To which Maharshi said, that shows that all are one. A couple from Peru who had heard of Sri Ramana Maharshi's greatness came to the ashram. Being poor, they had to save enough money for a few years to become deck passengers, that is, on a ship. To the couple, the Maharshi's presence on earth seemed the second coming of the Christ himself, and they longed to see him. One evening, when they sat before Ramana Maharshi, the talk turned to Peru. The couple was describing the seacoast and beach of their town. Just then, Maharshi remarked, is not the beach paved with marble slabs with coconut palms planted in between? Are there not marble benches in rows facing the sea? And did you not often sit on the fifth of those with your wife? This remark came as a great astonishment to the couple, and they were at a loss to understand as to how the Maharshi could know such minute details. Ramana Maharshi smiled and remarked, it does not matter how I can tell. Enough if you know that the self is not limited by space and time. As noted in the book Face to Face with Sri Ramana Maharshi, incident number 115.